Today we are talking about the sketchbook and how to do the abstract intuitive arts, and you can do whatever you want on these pages. Today I'll share the two pages, my process with them, and some little bit chat and here and there that how I can carry my journal with me and how I use outside as well as in my studio. So this is the very simple process where you're gonna enjoy every bit moment of it. So let's jump into the process and let me know what you create today. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing some kind of abstract paintings and I will show you that how I go out with my sketchbook. So yeah, that is the fun thing. I have lots of sketchbooks with me. This one particularly is from watercolor book, US Art Supplies, and it's okay. I like the shape, so I bought it from Amazon, and it's a nice thick paper. And this is the thing I did when I was doing my kids chess class. I will show you in bit process that how I did that one is the full sketch I did there, but here are the some things I using. This is the Daniel Smith color palette, and I'll stick to these three colors for particularly this one. And I don't want much thing going on here. I'm just creating kind of blobs here, and I want them to dry, and then I will carry my watercolor pens and Zig watercolor paints as well as some of the markers with me, and then I will use those things to decorate these ones. So if you find that what to do outside, you don't want to carry much supplies with you, this is the best way to do the things, and I really love that way. Although sometimes in this process I'm not able to catch a full video of this process, but main idea is when I'm going out what I'm doing with my time, and I really like that way. Some of these colors maybe get muddy when they got touch with each other, but I'm not worrying about that. This is a very kind of intuitive process for me. I'm not searching much things here, not much shapes. I'm just going with the flow and adding the things, and I want to create a two patterns before I go for the class, so that when I go there I have something with me already which I can use there. And I will use some of the markers. You can go ahead and select your marker, or you what happen if you want to create these kind of blobby things, it's not easy to create them outside when everyone is watching you, and then you need a brush, you need a pen. So most of the times when I go out, I just grab the book, I put that book, any journal book, in my copy you can say, and I just go with the flow and see that you know what I can do at that moment. Now you can see that this color is bleeding. I really love how it's turning out, and sometimes it doesn't look much perfect when you do the things. Maybe you don't like the things, but at the end when you add more and more textures and colors to these kind of stuff, it will come around. So I just did this one, and I want to do another one on the another side. And what I will do is I'll just gonna put this thing so that it is not buckling up, or you can just grab that same thing which is came with the, there is something else. Okay, there is a pencil. So now after doing that, you can see that there is one blob also. Another technique for doing it's that create some water things first, just like that. And I know my water is a little bit dirty with this brush, and I have that water is going on there, but that will be totally fine. I will put this here, and then after that I'll add more blobs of water. So if you are using the arches paper or more good quality papers you are with, that will bleed very nicely, like depend, but this is also going good quality paper, and good brushes always give you that thing. So you can see the formations of the water is creating here with the pigments, and this is such a beautiful formations. You can see they are like blooming, and I really like how they bloom. Then I'll add the another color droplet there. I'm not much seeing like where they are going. They are going a little bit out of control on other side, but it's still okay with me. And then I'm just adding a little bit of water here. Some of my paper is dry, and then I will introduce the third color. Now most of the times it happens with the people that it get muddy, and it is just a practice matter. It will not get muddy, and when they're gonna dry, they will look a little bit more subtle in the way. They will not look as bright as they are looking right now. So that is another thing to be considered where you are doing these kind of stuff. And then now here's the thing, I want to add that green here or not, or I should go with another shade of blue which is here, and I think I'll do that. So here we don't have water, so where the water is not there, you will get the white patches, and that's totally fine. That is also another thing, that's totally fine. Don't think much about them, just go with the flow. And then you can create some kind of patterns also where water is a little bit dried, like here, here, or something like that. You can create lines also like this, or you can just take your brush tip. Now here I'm using only one brush, this is 12 side brush, and you can create the swirls, and you can just go a little bit outside, so that will give more interest in them. How much water should put every time we pick up the brush, so it's totally depend on your practice. But what I do most of the times is it's totally depend how I want intensity of those colors at the moment. Like if I want more intensity in the color, I'm gonna just put less water, just the high pigment is my motto at that moment. But if I want them to dilute and mix and bloom like this, then I will add a little bit more water to the brush, like here. Now you can see all over the pattern, and here I thought that I need more red, so I just drop that red here, and that will just follow that path whatever we already created. You can see, because we already create those paths there, those squirrels will go like that way. Here also, if you want to add more, you can add. You can move and buckle up a little bit more to see that your color is going. Like you can take your page and just give those colors more root to go, something like this. And you didn't control this process much, but what happened, like when you do something like that, that color flows somewhere where you want, and you can do the same dripping technique also. If I hold it fully and just go down, that gonna drip and give me tree like shapes. That is another fun. Another thing I love to add is this Q-tips, and I really love them, and I'm just kind of mixing those blobs with these like leaves and berries. Definitely these are not leaves and berries, but it's kind of creating some kind of that kind of pattern there. And you can use the same for adding more dots and more colors and more shades in your. Now those lines we created, though, absolutely gone. They are not much lines there, but here, yeah, we can create tone on tone look on them, and that is also like kind of giving me a good texture. I can create those here also, some of those here's. So it's totally depend. You can pick the color from there, or you can add more color, or you can just put those Q-tips. Most of the times I wear them in the water, just I do the brush, and then I'm just adding those textures to them. Now I have some of the other stuff with me also. One is this neon watercolor. Those are like metallic one. I want to use those, and these are like, there are two, neo color 1 and neo color 2, and oh, that one is nice. I never use them. I bought them to do some kind of mixed media, but I have different pastels also, and I always use them. And these are water soluble, like Neo 2 are water soluble, and Neo 2 is like water, they're not water soluble. So here are those, but I need to wait to work on them, and I'm gonna take these two palettes with me, as well as some watercolor brushes, as well as my markers. I put them just like that, maybe some color markers, some pencils, some stabilos, and maybe some Sharpies. So I carry those pens. And then one of the thing I love to carry always with me is this pen. So this is the pen I used to use when I was doing like doing my architectural drawing, when I'm in interior designing and design management. So these are the pens I use. You don't have to use these. Substitute of these is you can use the normal micron pens, where you can get a thin line after different tip. I particularly like this one, but yeah, and I'll show you how I refill them. It's very easy. You got an ink, you have to put ink here, and then you have to just put them and then you can create a different things out of them. Now here you can see that I didn't see, and that what blob just go on that side, but nothing to worry. I gonna pick that. Any water paper tissue will do, and you can just pick the color. So this is the another technique. Another technique for this is also, if this is on, like you can put your stencils there like here, and then you can pick those colors, so you will get the that kind of mark, whatever mark on your stencil, that will also get. This time I don't want to do much of those techniques. I just want to be, those blobs are there, and I want to be, you know, create more intense look with those dots. I'm just trying to wait for drying it. But what you can do, another thing is, those is like they have in different colors, like black, red, white. So you can create a really thin line, or you can create those thin lines with other things like the gel pens, the Posca pens, the acrylic paints, the golden shimmer pens, anything you can do. That is another thing. Another thing is, you can take these kind of water brushes with you, which is filled with the water, and you can put them in your pouch, so that whenever you need it, you can use them. Other thing I always put is this is the just sauce bottle. I just put it inside, so that, you know, I can use it. But most of the times, whatever work you want to do wet, I'll try to do wet things at home itself, because it took a little bit more time to dry first. And another thing is, when you're doing these kind of stuff, like this kind of stuff, you don't want to get messy when you are outside. You just want to carry the small stuff, and then you can just, you know, go and do the things. Now here I'm just spritzing this to add that gold. My watercolors are still wet, but they are not that wet, but still they will give the effect. So, you know, it's wet effect, wet on wet technique, you can say, and it's gonna mix with that. And I'm just spreading that. I'm not controlling that where they are going. I'm just going this process very intuitively, and I'm choosing the 901 from this starry colors. So this is the highest golden color, like which having the really golden color. And then you can dip your brush, and you can, you know, form those swirls also on it. So some of them may go and, you know, dilute there, and maybe some of them you can see, you can put a little bit of dots. So whatever happening here, these dots will kind of mixing there. They are not a very profound one, so you can just emphasize on those circles also, some of those circles, not all of them, so it will not too much, but at the same time you can create that kind of stuff. If you watch my previous video where I just go with how intuitive painting is and what we are doing in that and how we are doing in that video, I just do some of the stitching. I love stitching on my stuff, and it gives such a nice, a different kind of texture, just like we are adding something. And now you can see that here that green is picking from that, and I just go with the flow, and it's turned out really well. Like here also I can add that. So did I decide to do that? No. Did I want to do that? Yes. So there is no right and wrong in this kind of process, and I'm going to keep it for a while to so that it is drying. I use this rotary pen. This is company's name, but these are the architectural pens where you can get a different width of thin lines, and I really love them to do the really nice kind of work. So these are the fabulous one, and I have them for a long time. So now what happened, every time you use them, you don't want to, you know, clog the nib. So after my paint is dry, the ink is finished, most of the time I wash it. I just put it in a I just take this kind of jar of water and put all of the parts. I just remove all of the parts and put all of the parts inside the jar for overnight, and that remove all the clogging and the other things there. So I want to show you how it works. So now it's water diluted, so I have to use it on a rough paper, and then I have to do like this, shaking of the pen. Now you can see I can get the lines, but those are very diluted because it's water inside little bit, but it will get eventually, and just a couple of minutes I will get that. But that lines are also kind of nice thing when you are doing intuitive painting, because, you know, those are kind of a subtle look they are giving. So you can use, I can use that also. So I'm just waiting here. Another thing I will carry with me when I go out is all the markers. There's pencil, eraser, and most of the times I carry a little bit small piece of cloth like this, or whenever I go I can find these kind of tissue papers, so I will get the thing. Now we'll talk about how I get inspired with something. Here, this is where I started a little bit. I just do the pencil sketching, and then I start with that bull head, and I do all my motifs. These are like Gondart motifs. This is dash and dot line traditional way, but I want to give it a twist, so I did that. Then I just go ahead and do the bells, and then again the eyes I want to pop more, and then I just go around and around. So this is the thing when they are like going in the chess class, and when I started, like, this is my sketch, I just make it, and then this is how started with the horns, and then I added the color, and then this is the my kid is playing chess, and I'm doing this. So when you are carrying this stuff with you, first of all, you're utilizing the time, like 2 hours you're going out, and then you can utilize the time. But if you have these kind of pages are with you, then what happened, you have that opportunity to do something on them, and you don't have to wait them for dry, and you can just hold it anywhere and do anything, like scribbling on them, doodling on them, or maybe writing something on them, or you can do some kind of things putting on them. So that is the main idea behind carrying this different kind of notebooks with me. I have lots of them in a different way, and it's totally depend on what's working and what project I'm working, or whichever thing going on at that moment, I use that project. If I'm hurry, I will just grab my things, I heat up it, and I use this to move little bit colors also sometimes, but I hardly use the stuff like heat gun and stuff. I just use to write them. Or what you can do, you can just do it, put it for a night, and in the morning you have something to work on you with you. Other thing is, I carry one diary with me, and I actually carry two diaries with me. This is like this is kind of a planner one, and it is having the blank one. So it's not necessary that every time I will plan something. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. On this side, I do all my house things and stuff like that with my kid and all this. And this notes thing, like I put the ideas, like what I want to do, or what kind of, this is very personal, so I'm not very much comfortable to show, but this is like things I put, like cards things and something like that. Like this, I put this cutting things, and then I got an idea to create some kind of things going on, so I create this one when I came home. And then sometimes I just do the doodles like this or this outside, and then I just put the shapes and then make the cluster to convert them into the tags or something else which is like more productive, which I can give to someone else. Most of the times I'm not keeping whatever I created with me. So that's why the other thing, like I created lots of watercolor journals, lot of colors and things going on the portfolios, but most of the time I just cut them and do something out of them. Some of them I have photos, some of them I don't. So I always like nowadays I was always suggest other people, so whatever you're doing, take photographs, it's gonna stay with you long. Maybe that art will not stay with you long, so eventually you can go back and see it, or you can do it something like that, or you can create a series of these, that what you're gonna love or what you're gonna like. So I will show you what I did afterwards with these when I come back from the class. So I made all those marks when I went to class, and I make some of them with these water soluble neo colors too. And I have this set, and I mostly use the colors which is kind of same for the things. Like for this mark I use this green, for these ones I use these one, the purple one, and purple and green mostly, and I use, and little bit of I use this one also. So basic idea is not what exact colors I use, but I just go the same family, and I choose when we started we choose this watercolor palette. So I have those. Then I try to add little bit of more with these golden crayons I have, and they didn't pop that much. Like here I tried to do it here, and I use this one, the gold color, but it didn't pop that much. Although the colors which we use from this palette, the starry colors, that is more prominent than what I saw here. And when I did this, like I use, for particularly for this technique, I use my Zig watercolor pens. I always carry Zig watercolor pens, although they are a bit heavy to carry. But yeah, and then what I can add here more is the golden color, and I try to make these small marks here, but somehow I'm not able to get more out of them, cause that pen is a little bit diluted when I show you that pen. It's a rotary ink pen, and then it is giving me really subtle marks, which is looking okay, but it is not catching the eye or popping out. So that is the another thing. And then I have a little bit of color going on here, so I just moving this brush. Then now if you can see, it's too much going on here because I use very much pattern, and this is another thing where it's a little bit subtle down. Now you can see both of the difference here, but when you saw both of them together, you might not be liking them. But if you saw one at each time, they have their individual things going on. So this is the another tip. Whenever I'm working, I put the another paper there if I feel that what I want to add more. Like for this area, this cluster is little bit not that something which I want to add more there. So let's add some white dot with the Posca pens, and maybe that will, oops, oh god, it's too much. I should do on the, it's that much, it's too much. Still we'll find the way. This is the acrylic colors, paints are acrylic, so I'm just picking those and adding the white droplets all around the work. And I can do an extra color to use on this side also. So this is the kind of watercolor, so you should, this is not the watercolor, this is the kind of acrylic paints, so you should cover the surface. My surface is like, I just did my crafting for the Disney albums, so I have this mat laying down here. I should change my mat before starting, but at that moment I thought that I will just do the watercoloring, something like that. And then, you know, here like we can add some of these marks. My basic idea is little bit of, you know, put little bit subtle colors there, and here also like I want to add little bit of those dots in between where we can create a abstract checkered pattern. And maybe I can do some swirls here and here. And then what I will do, I will just grab one paper like this, and then I'm just gonna pick all that colors just like that, and then just I can muting down those colors by adding little bit here and there with the brush. So first of all I thought that what I did, just I have to now, you know, put the things now, but it's okay. Now we can add little bit dots there which gonna just spread, and that will give us a different kind of effect overall. And I think I'm done with this right now. I don't want to add anything more. I want to add that white for a subtle thing, but I think by adding those small dots here and there, and this pen is just muting down that brightness of the color, we are good. And maybe we can add some of these dots here, and then I'll just pick little bit of color just like that. Don't forget to wash your brush because those are acrylics. I think I choose the watercolor brush. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So this is the thing I did. I add lots of colors, and I will put this just like that for the drawing or something. Another thing you can add is stitch detailing. I'm not adding stitch detail here, but yeah, white or black stitch detail will look beautiful on this. Golden will look beautiful on this. If you didn't watch how I did my stitch detail, you can see that also. And this art is totally inspired by the Gond art of India with the dash and dot lines, and I just completed all that colors going on. And then I saw one a Scandinavian art with the antlers of the stag, and it's so beautiful. So I got inspired from that, and I choose my kind of stag, and then I add little bit of elements of the same Gond art, and I'm planning to do the same thing with it. I'm gonna color it, wash out it with the watercolors, and then I will do all those small detailings on here. So that may be my next project for my kids class, and I can use this general. I'm showing you how I'm using this. So most of the times I don't use the back side, but you can go ahead and use back side. Why I don't use the back side most of the time, sometimes I like that art so that I can rip apart the page from the main thing, and then I can frame it. You can just imagine it gonna look so beautiful if we frame it. Let me show you. I have this bigger frame, but still you will get an idea. So if I want to frame this, I'm gonna put just a white paper on this side just to show you. So it's gonna look really nice in the white or golden frame. The same thing I can do for this side also. You can see that how beautiful it is. You can put it and make it a really nice frame out of it. So until the next crafty project, have a crafty life. Stay tuned with me. Bye bye.